Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. When I was growing up, this was a sentiment you often heard passed down from the older generation to the younger. But I think it's a little bit more nuanced than that. If anything, I think one comment can change everything. Now, when I say comment, this doesn't always have to be a negative thing. I mean, heck, comments can fall into positive, negative, maybe even somewhere in between. For the sake of this video today, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about both sides. But I wanna start off with the negatives because this is more or less what this phrase is actually in relation to, right? When you think about sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. This is really kind of meant to simplify the fact that, you can't physically get hurt by words, right? Sticks and stones or anything else like that could actually hurt you, right? But I think that very simply dismisses the fact that words can hurt too. I think a lot of us like to pretend that words don't get to us because if you say that out loud, you're looked at or judged a certain way by people. I get it, right? I do this sometimes too. If someone tells me something that's a little bit mean or a little bit harsh, sometimes I won't say anything, but it gets to me. And this isn't just unique to me. I'm sure that this happens to you, and this happens to even the best and the people that have the biggest platforms out there. I oftentimes watch interviews of people that I look up to, creators, actors, people that work government, anything like that, people that have a lot of eyes on them at all times. And you would think that after years and decades of people being in the spotlight or having these types of criticism at them, it wouldn't affect them. But if you look closely between the lines, you always see that some of this stuff does get through. A lot of interviews that I watch are people that have big platforms. They may say things like they get 20,000 comments or something, right? But there's always like that one comment that gets to you and it gets a little bit under your skin to the point where you go put your head on the pillow at night and you're thinking about it just a little bit. Now, it may not take over the rest of your life and hurt you and really keep affecting you past that first day or so, but it doesn't mean that even people in that position are immune from these things. And if they're not immune from it, I know I'm not. If it happens to you too, then there's nothing wrong with you. You're just a normal person. I think if anything, like I mentioned before, it's hard to admit out loud when words and things do affect us, but they do. And just because it doesn't physically hurt you, like sticks, stones, doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt in some type of way. Rhetoric does matter, and the way that we talk to each other does matter. So just because that saying has made it through the test of time, or it's been passed down from generations, or it's been said from people to people, doesn't mean that it's true. I think anything in life that oversimplifies something that's a bigger point really just deserves to have more of a conversation, and you should be looking at it with more of a nuanced eye rather than just blanket accepting that something is on side black, side white. There's more gray to life, and that's just kind of how things tend to work. I think a lot of times when it comes to the rhetoric that we use, we kind of forget the rule that I think applies more than the sticks and stones one. It's the golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated.
Earlier this week, someone left a really nice comment on one of my recent videos. I don't want to call them out just in case they like to stay more private or anything like that, but it really put a smile on my face when I needed it for that day. And not that you should look at anything in life and just put 100% of whatever you take in, whether it's negative or positive, from people's feedback and let that dictate your life. But sometimes you have no idea how far these positive comments can go towards uplifting someone's day. In life, we have choices, right? We can either be negative, positive. We can be a little bit constructive too when the time is right. I think a lot of times what I see online now is there's just so much negativity. Negativity sells, and it's what people are really always surrounding themselves by. There's a certain amount of people, and I think there's a lot more people that care to admit it, that really like positivity in life, and they get tired of all the negativity online too. But that's just what gets the clicks and what gets the attention. The reason I make this content here is not for any one specific reason. It's more or less to create a calm, positive atmosphere that maybe inspires you to be a little bit better as a person if you feel like you want to do that in your life. So when you feel like you don't have a platform or you don't have a community of people that think like that, that's what I hope to grow with this channel one day. So when that comment hit me the other day, the really, really positive one, I was having a tough day, and that came at the exact moment where I needed to hear something like that. Is to know that what I'm doing here at least reached one person and was able to change someone's day, or even just a couple of minutes. That's good enough for me. As I evolve, I hope to kind of be able to do more things and expand. And sorry, I'm slipping off this rock right here, but and make it just a positive atmosphere for people that really want more of that in their life. I try to practice what I preach. I try to spread positivity. I try to do good things for people, and I just encourage you to do the same thing too. And if anything, just like my last video, I'll make that a challenge for you today. Every time that you feel like next you want to make a negative comment or say something about someone, especially someone you don't know, stop for a second, give yourself 10 minutes and come back. If you still want to make that comment, I'm not going to tell you what to do or not do. But my challenge to you is to try to find a positive way, or try to look more at the nuance of whatever it is before you critique something, to understand if it's coming from a place of negativity constructive criticism, or if it's maybe just unfounded and maybe you should kind of rethink what you're going to say and find a more positive way to do that. As you do this, you realize it not only makes you feel better, it helps other people around you too. Because just like I said before, you have no idea what people are going through in their life, and your positive comment may make a bigger impact than you ever really know. I hope this makes sense to somebody out there. If it did, please go and drop me a like. Feel free to comment anything you want below. I'll see you in the next one. Take care for now. Peace.